Good morning, everyone. 5:56 a.m. Welcome back to our channel here on got Sean here, aka Law Dog 9301. We're here on Lone Oak Farm. It's our episode 4. So last night where we left off, we were cutting this grass on, was it field 44, I believe? Yeah. And using it for silage. Alright, so first things first. Let's see here. I think if I remember right, I needed to pack and level the silage bin. So I guess we'll do that first this morning and then get back to our cutting the grass up and using it for silage. So we'll get started there. Sounds like a good place. This morning we'll grab the Dutes bar, go from there. Figured I'd get a little bit of live stream in this morning. We'll still stream this afternoon. Just wanted to kind of get ahead before this evening so that we could plant. Our plans are to, if I'm thinking right on this one, what we were going to do is 44 was going to be planted in soybean, and then we were going to look at possibly buying another farm, because right now, looking at everything, 36 is in sunflowers, 45 is canola, 32 wheat, 29 is potatoes. And I wanted to plant some soybeans, so we're cutting the grass on 44. We'll use that as our soybean farm or field, and possibly buy 33 and plant some corn, and then that way we have a little bit of variety in our farms here and get prepared for our animals. So right now we can plant soybeans and corn both today, starting today, which we're in the 3rd day of spring, fixing to get into summer. So yeah, we've got wheat and we've got canola, we've got sunflowers, and we got potatoes. So we need some soybeans and corn. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So that's what we're looking at doing. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. I need to probably buy a silage packer. But if I remember right, we've got 20,000 borrowed to the bank. We could pay that back and have 5,000. I mean, let's kind of look at it. I don't know that I will buy it, but we'll look at it. Let's see. Can't remember. Is it under miscellaneous? I don't think so. Yeah, it is. Okay. So, yeah, $7,400. That would put us in the negative. I don't want to owe the bank any money. We got to buy the field. I don't want to set us back too much. Our bees are making some money, about $500 an hour. So I think we're going to let them do their magic, pollinate our grass, and when our crops get up, they can do that too, plus sell the honey. So we will let that do its thing until we can get some of these crops in. I need to look. I think I've still got some corn I'd like to save it so that we could start working on some pigs, and we could actually get sheep up and running so that we can begin that, but I just don't have enough money to buy all the equipment that we're going to need to get this done, so I'm just going to be patient and wait. Time consuming. Of course, that's with farming. That's with anything. It takes time. I think I can maybe get this pretty level with just the tractor here. Not going to be great, but it'll be okay. It's doable. Yeah. All right. So this right here, in real life, I'm certain would not be the most fun job in the world. Let's turn on our help icon real quick, just so we can see where we're at. Okay, so it's 100% compacted right now. I still want to get it a little bit level, semi-level, best level we can get. So we're still getting it to pack a little bit more. You know, we're at 100%. It'll still kind of, the more you run over it, the more it'll spread out evenly because of the weight of the tractor alone. Alright. Yeah, it looks like this end here, I probably dumped a little too much on this end. Try to go across it a few different ways, diagonally, side to side. Try to smooth that out some. Alright, so we're looking really good here. That's alright. We're good, we're good, we're good. Let's see. What am I thinking here? Need to probably... What are we? Yeah, let's just keep doing this for just a minute. I was thinking about heading over and go ahead and jumping on, but I want to make sure I get this nice and smoothed out because we're going to bring in over quite a bit of grass to finish out that field. And part of the problem is that it's not at full growth. It was only at 67%, so we're not going to make near as much, which that's okay. Alright, so let's head over and start collecting our grass and finishing this up. Alright. And once we get all of that done, we'll start looking at see which field we're going to buy and go from there. We're going to hire us a worker and we will run the truck. Make it easier this way. Alright, let's go. Alright. So last night, my stepson wanted me to play Fortnite with him. He wanted us to stream it. Oh my god, and I am not good at Fortnite. I knew I would get melted and tore down. And he jumps in this. They did an update, and it's in Season 5, and they have these golf carts added in here. And he's in driving this thing, makes me jump in it. We're skipping all this loot. He's driving like a maniac. People are shooting at us. I get shot in the cart. We wreck out around those cargo containers, and then shortly thereafter somebody shows up and melts us. But if you get time to watch it, I got tickled. I went back and watched some of it last night, and I'm just like, hey, there's a pot, stop. And he's like, no, we're gonna die. And he's wrecking out and all kinds of crazy mess. So anyway, if you got a chance, go back and check it out. It's funny. I got a kick out of it. Of course, half the time I can't build or do shoot. But I did get I did get a couple of kills, maybe 3 or 4. So I thought that was pretty cool. But man, I got melted several times. Well, thanks for joining the channel here. We're just collecting some grass right now, trying to get our silage pit built up so that we can prepare for our cows. I did jump on Welker Farm this morning before streaming, just to check it out, see if I'd like it. I love the openness. I like the big fields. The only thing was, you know, there's no animals, and I don't know. I'm more into the, you know, my farming background. My dad, my grandfather, and my great grandfather, and my great great grandfather. They did a kind of a rounded aspect of farming. We had cattle, we had horses, and we raised crops. You know, predominantly we raised cotton, but we also raised grain, sorghum, wheat, and so nothing against, you know, just outright farming. I just, for what I like on Farm Sim, is what I did as a kid and a young man. I like the kind of the full roundedness of farming, to give you that full experience. So, but I did like it. I did go, you know, the interesting thing was I did go back and kind of check out Welker Farms. It is 106 years old. It is a real live farm in just outside of Shelby, Montana. The 4th generation, which would be Nick Welker, son, and then he has his brother, and then his dad. They currently run the farming operation. It's, you know, roughly 7 or 10,000 acres, and they raise, you know, wheat, chickpeas. Nick Welker had talked about in one of his videos they were considering canola, kind of diversifying. But it was really cool. They have a Facebook page. He does videos of different things, you know, try to make it entertaining and kind of give you an insight of, you know, what a large, you know, 106-year-old farm operation looks like. But what I really liked was, you know, Mapper's Paradise is the one that designed Welker Farms. Did a great job sticking to, you know, authenticity, you know, originality. The Big Brute, which is basically a large spray rig, and Black Sheep Modding also released the Big Brute. I watched a video on that. That thing is awesome. Nick Welker did a video on that. It's got this huge boom. I can't remember. I think he said it was a 100-foot boom on the spray rig. But it had this GPS in it, and it was cool. And of course, I've been out of farming for 30 years, but the GPS, the way that it was set up, it showed exactly the day before he had sprayed. It showed, you know, kind of this yellow line on the GPS mapping system, and has this auto steering. He plugs it in coordinate wise, and off they're running. And I thought that was really cool. So he could sit there, and he was recording from his iPhone and record spraying. So if you ever get a chance to check out Welker Farms, get on their Facebook, get on YouTube, check it out. It is really cool. They also excuse me, they also operate the farm using Big Buds, and I did watch a video on Big Bud, and they were running the cultivator, and it's one of the cultivators the big bud is in this game, and the cultivator is in this game. I can't remember what it's called. Rolling core. Hang on just a second. Let's see. Let me look, because it was really neat, and the animation that's on this game that for this cultivator is the same in real life, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, Flexicool. And so he was running that. It was a really great video. If you like stuff like that, jump on there and check it out. It was really neat. So, but anyway, I really like the originality of it. The only thing is, you know, it just doesn't give me the full farming experience that I want, you know, with the animals and stuff. I'm not really big into the chickens. We had chickens when I was young. You know, we had hogs, and Dad bought some goats and sheep at one time, but he wasn't really big into that. They're kind of hard to care for, but I do like the full experience that Farming Simulator does give you. So we'll finish up doing this here, and we will go ahead and plant soybean on this farm, and then we'll see where we're at money wise, that we can possibly buy another field and plant some corn. And I may save that for this evening. I don't know. We'll just see how far it goes. This will take us a little bit of time here, gathering this up, leveling and compacting the silage pit. So I hope everybody's having a great Saturday morning so far. Mine started pretty early, stayed up pretty late, playing the Fortnite with my stepson. And didn't get to sleep very long. I think I went to bed at 1 a.m. and got up at 7:30 or 8 this morning. So I thought, well, I was sitting here kind of going through some stuff. I thought, well, I'll do a live stream real quick. But we appreciate you joining us. I know we're not going to get a whole lot of grass. I mean, look, we're probably, what, 50% of the way almost here. And our silage pit only has, I can't remember how many trips I made yesterday. We'll have to check it out here in a minute. See how much we got in the silage pit. I think I did 3 loads. So, it's a little over 100,000. Or just shy of 100,000. Alright, so we'll go over here. Good deal. Alright, I'll have to back from bird's eye view. Alright. Cooperate, coordination. Alright, so yeah, 141. I thought it was a little less. I may have dumped more than I thought. It's alright. All of it helps. I think tonight I'm going to do a I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll get some more. I think tonight I was thinking about possibly opening it up to a multiplayer. I don't know. I'll think about it. We still got some time till we stream this afternoon. Alright, let's get over here and collect some more. Just lollygagging around, driving through the grass here. Alright. Good deal. Alright. I'm kind of anxious to get this soybean planted. And we will be on our way getting this farm up and running real good. I think, you know, we could probably start sheep. I keep going back and forth. I don't know. I don't know whether to start sheep or not. I don't have a water tank, so I have to buy one. And definitely need a telehandler so that we can do our cleanup. Then you gotta buy the sheep. It's gonna cost you money. I don't have a truck to transport them, but you're gonna get charged a lot more for transportation costs. So I don't know. May wait on that. I don't want to get too antsy. Alright, we're looking pretty good here. So far, so good. Beautiful spring morning. Love that. Couple of clouds in the sky. Yeah, looks good. Alright. Try it from a cab, but I just can't see good enough. Look at this guy. Alright. He's doing a good job. He was. Sorry about that. Alright, let's get the hired worker started again. He quit on us. He thought that was the end of the field. Not gonna happen here. Alright. So we'll get him started up here. Alright, he's ready. Good deal. Alright. Got him going again, so see if we can't collect the rest of this. Alright, good deal. Alright. And off we are. Ooh. No. No. I knew that was gonna happen. No. Hired workers. Hard to find good help anymore. Good Lord. Alright. Maybe that'll get him going. Let's go. Come on. Alright. He got it this time. Hard to find good help. Alright, so once we get this done, we'll start on planting the soybeans in here. It'll take us a little bit, maybe, I don't know, 3 loads more, I'm thinking. Being that the grass is only at, what, 67% growth, so yeah, we're not going to get a whole lot out of it, but that's okay. I mean, we get a little over 200,000, maybe 300,000 in solids. It's going to set us up so we can feed our cows and then do our total mixed ration. I enjoy the cattle aspect of it. It's challenging, but I like it. A lot of folks have a hard time with the total mixed ration with the different mixing wagons, but it's, once you get used to it, it's not that bad. It's just time consuming is all it is. The large one, the Mammoth, I think it's what it's called, does 32,000. No, it does more than that. It's 64,000, I think. Man, that's the way to go. You can just mix it up. Do one of those placeable silos to hold your mixed ration and silage. And those usually, I think they're like 15,000, or no, you do 32,000 grass, and then you do 12,000 in no, 32,000 in hay, and then you'll do 12,000 in straw, and then 12,000 in silage, and that pretty much gets your mixture right there. And that big one. So, and then the smaller ones, it's usually, 4,000 and or 8,000 usually. 8,000. That's what I do. 8,000 in hay, and then 4,000 in silage, and 4,000 in straw, and you'll have the right mixture every time. Because I usually buy the one that holds, I think it's 16,000, if I'm thinking right. But you get your mixed ration fixed up. I like to do prepare a lot of it. That way I just pull it out of the silos and then feed the cows. A lot more simpler. Alright. Come on, guy. Spending too much time backing up. Gotta get this show on the road. Taking quite a few rounds just to get a truckload, which isn't the biggest. I like the 70,000 liter trailer better, but we don't have enough money to buy it yet. I'm ready to get some money flowing so we can get some larger equipment. And hopefully this rain will hold off so we can finish this up. Yeah, it's starting to get foggy though. Usually when it does that on this Seasons mod, shortly thereafter it starts to rain. I had it snow like on the second day of spring in one of the games I was playing. That was interesting. I guess moisture's moisture, but snowing. So, it's actually a beautiful morning here in Texas. Nice, humid, and hot. Got some honeydew stuff to do today. After getting done streaming this morning. Well, we're gonna also stream tonight. I'm trying to figure out which way how I want to do this. I think tonight what we'll do. I might go ahead and plant the soybean. Yeah, I might. I don't know. We'll see. Just depends on how long it takes us here. But then again, I might save it for tonight, and whether it starts raining on us. If it starts raining on us, that'll slow us up a little bit. but I want to save some of that for tonight or this evening. And then once we get that done, we'll start, we'll harvest the grass on, yeah, 35 should be done the first day of summer, which that'll put us in a good position so we can get some hay and some grass, both, so that we can get our animals situated. Hopefully we'll have enough money by the second day of summer where we can start buying some cattle and some pigs. Alright. Come on, fella, hurry up. We're almost full. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's been hot here in Texas. It hadn't rained in about 3 or 4 days. Oh, come on. Pick up the trailer. You kidding me? We're definitely needing some rain. There we go. Where my brother's at, in East Texas, they've had rain every day this week, just about. Alright, we're full. Definitely needing it. I don't want to water the grass. I forgot I've got this set on 9 miles per hour. Alright, let's get this dumped. We may have to pack this real quick. I may wait, get one more load, since we got our hired helper just sitting there. Don't want to waste our money. So right now we're doing pretty good. So we owe the bank $20,000. I paid off all my loan, then I borrowed the $20,000 so we could get that rockless mesh mower, so we could work on this silo a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there or not. I may get stuck. We'll see. Let's see if we can pack it a little bit so we don't. I knew it. Come on now. Alright. Guess what? Time to pull out the big gun. I don't even know if we can get this done with him. See if we can pack it around it though and get it down some where we can get him out. This is what makes it tough. I should have went ahead and packed it. I was hoping to get this load in and then pack it, but not everything goes your way, I guess. That's the way farming is, actually. Well, in Texas, my dad always used to say, you don't like the weather, give it 5 minutes, it'll change. And farming is kind of like that. You never know what you're going to run into each day. Hopefully that gives us enough. Yeah, getting him moved over a little bit. There you go. Come on, go, go, go. Alright, let's get a running start. You would not do this in real farming. What is the disclaimer? Do not try this at home. Alright, so we got it packed down a little bit. I think we're good to go. We can probably back up in there now. Let's try it and see. Looks like it's still kind of off a little bit. Oh no, we're good. Good deal. Alright, so 188. Is that what it is? 188, somewhere around. That's good. So we're getting us a good little silage started here. Alright. Oh no. Not again. There we go. Other side. So we got a little bit of a hump we're going to have to contend with there. It's alright. we'll get it worked up. Alright, let's go get another load, and then we'll pack that here in a minute. Oh, man. Alright, so we're going to finish this load up. We'll go back and pack that. Go from there. Don't want to waste too much money with our hired worker working there, because even though it's sitting there, it's still ticking off money, because you're having to pay him to sit there. You know, the interesting thing, I really like this about the Seasons mod that gives it more of the realism, because I do a lot. I do as much realistic farming as possible. The only thing I'm not doing here that would be more realistic is just so I could get started and save some time, because other than stuff like this and maybe some other things that are mundane and boring, is plowing. And so I didn't activate the plowing. I've only done one fertilizer state, and I'm going to tell you why. 3 fertilizer states here in Texas. I'm not saying it's this way in the United States, but here in Texas, you do not do 3 fertilizing states on crops. You know, especially cotton, sorghum, corn, oats, or even alfalfa. I mean, alfalfa you only fertilize a couple of times a year. But anyway, I went with 1 fertilizer state because here in Texas, if you're farming cotton, for instance, what we would do to prepare the land, which is a little bit different from the simulation on the game, you would go in and prepare the land by running a plow, and what we called them was breaking plows. And it would be the same thing as some of the plows that you see, you know, tilling it up to get it prepared for your crop. So we would do that, and then you would take a toolbar that had these plows on them. They were huge, and it's called a lister, and so it made these rows, and it looks similar to when you plant potatoes. You know, potatoes gives us little humps in the field. So when you listed it, it would prepare these humps. And then what you would do, you would come back with a planter, and the cotton would be planted, sorghum, corn, on top of the hump in those rows. That is when you would put out your herbicides, pesticides, and things of that nature. Now, when you're preparing the land, you also will put out a herbicide so that you can knock out the weeds. So, you know, you'd spray it. Not necessarily fertilizing it, but you would spray it for herbicides, with herbicides, kill out the weeds. Then when you're planting, you'll put out pesticide so that, you know, you can manage insects. And then the cotton would get up probably about 5-6 inches tall, maybe a little bit taller. And what you would do, you would go back, and here in Texas, what we use for fertilizer is typically anhydrous ammonia, which gives a lot of nitrogen to the soil for the plant. So that would be the only time that we would fertilize. Now, throughout the year, you're always either putting out either some kind of insecticide or a herbicide, but you wouldn't fertilize, you know, 3 times throughout the growing season to have a good yield on your crop. So that's why I only do 1 fertilizer state. It's more realistic to what I know from my experience in farming. Now the plowing, you know, I don't have it activated, but that would be more realistic. But I wanted to save some time because it takes a long time to plow. And what's interesting is, you know, most of the, unless you get to the big buds and some of the big stuff, which they do have those, but for us here in Texas, you know, the plows are really small, just like they are on Farm Sim here. And it takes an incredible amount of time. When we were running a break-in plow, we would run it 24 hours a day. So my dad's hired hand would run it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I would jump on the tractor at 7 p.m. and run it till 7 a.m. So I'd drive it all night long because it would take you that long. I mean, it's only like um, probably be equivalent to the 3 meters on this game, you know, because it only has 3 to 4 plows on it, and so it just take forever. And most of the fields in Texas, they're pretty square. Everything, of course, you know, here in the United States is acres, but what we work off of is called labors, and a labor is 177 point. I can't remember, 177.6 or something other like that. Acres, and so that's a labor, and so that's what we would farm is labors of land, and then so basically you get 2 labors, and they call that a half section of land. 4 labors would be a full section of land, and a section of land would be 1 mile by 1 mile in a square. So you're looking at, you know, farming a whole labor or section of land, which is, you know, 1 mile by 1 mile. So a little bit different. Of course, this game is made in Europe, and so everything's liters and hectares, which hectares is easy to convert. A hectare, 1 hectare is equivalent to 2.4 acres in the United States. So, but anyway, I try to farm as realistic as possible, so, and have fun. I think that's the whole thing about this. That's what I enjoy about this game. It takes me back to my youth when I was young, and it also um, has enough realism in it to where, you know, it's enjoyable for me, because I really miss being on the farm and stuff. We still have all of our land. My family still farms the land. I unfortunately didn't go that route. I went into law enforcement when I was younger. I did farm for right out of college. Or actually, I was in college and I was farming. I farmed a half section of land to help pay for some things while I was in college. But I made decent money, but it was one of those things. Farming's one of those things. It's like gambling. You know, you have a bad hailstorm come in one night and take out your whole crop, and crop insurance does not even pay nowhere near if you were able to take a crop throughout the year and sell it. So you just lose all this money, plus the operation of a farm is so expensive, you know, with your equipment, maintenance, your tractors, all that stuff. You know, and if you got animals, they got to be fed and watered, and so, you know, you're spending money for feed if you don't have any stocked up. So it can get very expensive. So it's pretty hard to make money now, unless you're a huge farmer. You know, you just don't make great money at it. So, but anyway, my family still has the land. My cousins farm it. We've had that family land since my grandfather came to Texas in the 30s, bought a bunch of land. My dad bought land, and we still have it. My dad doesn't farm anymore, but my cousins farm it for them. So, still got it in the family. I went back home Christmas time, and kind of was driving around looking at everything. We had corning, cotton this last season, and my wife has never been around any kind of crops like that. She was actually raised, you know, on a ranch where they raised racing horses, and so she's accustomed to that, and cows, you know, more the cattle horse industry, and not so much into the row crop farming. And so she really got a kick out of that, checking out cotton and stuff, and corn. And we actually pick some of it. She uses it for a lot of her, she does a lot of creative decorations and stuff like that. Alright, we're full. So, but anyway, I was going around the home place and I found, and I'll post a picture of it, it's pretty cool. I found a front row cultivator my grandfather bought in the 50s, and it's still parked there at the home place. That's where my dad was raised, when we call it the home place. And man, it's just, you know, as you get older and you get into life and stuff like that, you just kind of tend to forget things. And it was really awesome going back and kind of stepping in that time warp. I think we better pack this first. The last time I got stuck. Anyway, took a picture of this cultivator. Of course, it's growed up in pasture grass, and most of the grass that we have on our land in Texas is natural oats, side oats, grama, some windmill grass, stuff like that. The windmill grass gets pretty tall, but the oats and the side oats grama, it's pretty small. It's just a few inches above the ground. So you could actually see the cultivator pretty good. But anyway, took a picture of it. My wife actually took that picture and sent it to, I don't know, some company somewhere, and they put it on a canvas, and we hung it up here at the house. Kind of a history. And then my grandfather built a dairy barn, and that dairy barn wasn't standing anymore. And so I do a lot of woodworking to help her with her crafting. And so we took a plank off of the barn that my grandfather had built, and which is cool because I'm real big into history. I'm pretty sentimental, especially when it comes to farming and stuff. I'm really proud of my heritage. But anyway, we took that plank and she actually created it, put our last name on it, put, you know, the cotton that was raised. She snipped a few of the cotton bolls that were open, put it at the bottom, and some of the corn cobs from the farm, put it on this board, and made me a deal with our last name, and put, you know, kind of, she prettied it up and put bows and ribbons and stuff on it. Anyway, we hung it up on the wall, and it's really cool because it's something that my grandfather handled, put on his own barn, built with his own hands, and here it is sitting in my house 75 years later, from when it originally got built, and got our last name. And I don't know, pretty cool. I'm kind of into that stuff, so some folks aren't, but I'm pretty sentimental, so I thought it was cool. But it was really neat checking out that cultivator. We've got that canvas picture of it hanging up here in the house, and anytime I have some friends and stuff come by, I like to kind of show that thing off and give a little bit of history of it. I never actually got to use it. It's always been sitting there on the home place. You know, we just kind of, the cows is usually what was on that farm, so it just kind of sat over there. It's just kind of a permanent fixed object. It's kind of like driving by these old farms and you see these. It's almost like, okay, my old truck broke down, and you see this 1950s truck in the middle of nowhere in a farm, and just sitting there rusting away. It's kind of the same thing here on the cultivator. It's just, my grandfather parked it there, and it's sat there for 70 years. So, but anyway, I like to tell people about it, but I wished I had an opportunity when he was alive to have operated it. The front row elevator was kind of unusual. It was beneficial during those days, especially with the small tractors they had, because, you know, you had Poppin' Johnnies back then, John Deere's. You also had, my dad had a 720 John Deere. It was not a hand crank start. They used to hand crank those tractors. You had to be real careful. You'd break your wrist if it went back on you, sprung back. But Dad had a 720, and that's actually what they ran this front row cultivator. My dad actually did run the cultivator. When I was talking to him about it, he remembered it. Remembered when it was bought when he was young, and he actually operated it. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it's got a lot of sentimental value still. Which it's not going to go anywhere. It'll stay there on the farm. That family land, you know, God forbid, but, you know, my mom and dad pass away, then I'll inherit Me and my brother inherit the land, and that cultivator will stay there. And then hopefully my kids will do the same. Just leave it there. It's history. It's their great-grandfather. So, stay in the family for a long time. Kind of like Welker Farms. I mean, we're shy of 100 years, but still going. So it's kind of cool. Alright, we got this packed. Let's go ahead and get this done. I don't want to bore y'all with doing mundane tasks here. Alright. Hope you're enjoying the stream today. Enjoying the video. That's the reason I stream. I love to watch YouTube videos of Sim Farm. Also watch a little bit of Fortnite. I'm not good at Fortnite. I played with my stepson last night. It got melted a bunch. It's kind of a funny video. If you ever get a chance to go watch it, we did it last night. But anyway, I like to watch a lot of videos. I love Farm Sim. I've been playing since Farm 15, and just fell in love with this game. And 17's even better to me. I can't wait till 19 gets out. But you know, I started watching it, and I thought, you know what? I like this game. Just gives me an opportunity to meet new folks. That's why I'm doing it, and give some little entertainment and something to watch and share my experiences from my farming experience. So hope you enjoy it. Glad you joined in with us. So let's go ahead and pack that down real quick before we get that next load. Just don't want to get stuck. We're going to get into a situation here where we're going to, every time we go to dump, we're going to get stuck, and I don't want to do that. So you'll just bear with me a minute. I know this stuff right here is probably not fun to watch, but part of it, part of farming. I've never done any silage in real life, so I could only imagine if I had to do this, how mundane it would be to go back and forth, leveling it, packing it. Man, it would just be extremely boring. Almost as boring as running a spray rig. Putting out fertilizer, man. I've done that, and that is real boring. There's really nothing to watch. I mean, the only thing is you make sure that you're not overlapping too much, because then you're doubling up fertilizer or herbicide or pesticide, and it's not good for the plants. But other than that, maybe a spray nozzle gets clogged up, and you'll have to get off every now and then and unclog it. But other than that, man, it's terribly boring. Always hated running the spray rig. Somehow or another, always ended up having to do it. My brothers didn't like running it, so. But I love farming so much, I would do it anyway. Just be on a tractor, and it's just a good way of life. My dad operated John Deere's and Internationals. So actually, when I was, I guess I was 11 or 12. I can't remember the first time my dad stuck me on a tractor. I run a disc. It was the first thing I ever run. And my dad had this. It was called a 856 International. It was a Farmall tractor. I don't know, probably maybe 100 horsepower. Didn't have a lot of horsepower. It was a smaller tractor. Didn't even, the cab that it had on it wasn't even sound guarded. So, I mean, it was incredibly loud on that thing. Your ears would ring for hours after operating it all day. But anyway, that was the first tractor I ever drove. It was an 856 International. I think it was an 856. It was either 856 or 706. But my dad had Internationals, and then in the 70s, he switched over to John Deere. So he had like a 4020 John Deere, which is a 60s model. I think Dad's was a 64 model. 4020. We had a diesel and one that was running off of propane. And then he bought a 4430 John Deere tractor, which it was the first sound guarded tractor we ever owned, which was really cool. I like that. Had a radio, air conditioning, the whole 9 yards. So, man, we were in tall cotton then. And then later on in 78 or 9, I can't remember, we bought a 4440, and of course that was a cat's meow then. I mean, that was like a Cadillac. Had a hydraulic seat, kind of like the air seats in trucks. You know, it would kind of glide forward, up and down, and give you a real smooth, comfortable ride. I love that 4440. It also had a those tractors had a differential lock in them, and so what you would do, you'd be plowing down the rows, and you, in the middle between the brake and the clutch, you press this differential lock, and the back tires would turn at the same time, give you more traction. And it also had a excuse me, had a depth control, and so you'd set the depth control, and basically what that did was while you were plowing, if you hit a soft spot, your plow, when it began to sink too deep, the depth control would kick in. It was hydraulic, and it would pull the plow up to the correct depth so that your tires wouldn't spin and you wouldn't get stuck. So, and it's a fancy tractor. Love that tractor. When I was farming, I had a 1466 International, which it did not have a sound guarded cab. It was the old cab with if you know what a swamp cooler is, basically a swamp cooler is an air conditioning. You pour water in it. It's got a fan and these filters, and the water runs across these filters, and the theory is it gives you air conditioned. They were not as good as a central air conditioning that we have today, but back then, you know, that was as good as it got. So you turn the corner, like you get at the end of the rows, and of course when you get down at the end, you pull your plows up and you turn around to make the next through. You'd kind of bounce around, and the water would slosh around in the evaporative cooler, the swamp cooler, and the water had all that dirt in it. It was brown, and it would drip down on top of the cab, come into the holes in the cab, and then drip all over your back or down your neck or whatever. By the time you got off, you know, you looked like you'd been in a dirt storm with this caked over mud all over you. But I had that 1466, and then I had a 4430, and that's what I farmed with. But that 4430, man, that thing was nice. Love the sound guarded cab. Now my cousin and them, they drive those. I don't even know the numbers anymore. But he's got this big, you know, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive John Deere tractor. When I was farming, we farmed on with our toolbars were only 8 rows on 48-inch centers, and now, you know, they've got 12 rows on 40-inch centers. Some of their equipment's even larger than that. Of course, they got this GPS system in them where you don't really drive it, you just turn it around, set the plow down, and you activate the GPS, and it drives the tractor for you. Anyway, those tractors, I sat in one of those, and oh my goodness, I mean, technology, those things are nice. Really, the only thing that I wished I had an opportunity to drive, now I've driven a John Deere International, Case International, because I drove a 7130 Case International, which was 4-wheel drive. It was a nice tractor. Had an automatic in it, basically, so you had 18 gears, and you could literally, because it didn't have a clutch, it had a oil dump, so you could be at a stop position, grab the gear shift, put it into first gear, and the tractor would ease and take off. And so you could go all the way to up to 18th gear, which is a road gear, and never touch the clutch or the oil dump. And then you could actually downshift, get it slow enough, put it in neutral, and then swing it around and put it in reverse, and you never touch the clutch. And that thing was nice. It's almost like a hydrostatic drive, which, if you don't know what that is, most of your combines, even probably this little Rothless mesh, is a hydrostatic drive. And all it is basically you can keep the RPMs or the engine revved up, and there's another lever to your side that you go forwards or backwards with, and you just ease it into whatever combines or harvesters, as they're called. I keep killing the truck. Sorry. Harvesters, combines. We call them combines here in Texas, but harvesters are hydrostatic. And those things are fun to operate. I've operated several different types of harvesters. John Deere International. Now, tractor-wise, I drove the Case IH, as I was saying. Then, back in the 60s, there was a tractor called White. Now, I've seen them on PC. Some of your gamers or YouTubers that play on PC, some of the modders come out with a White tractor. Now, I've driven one of those. They also had a tractor company called Oliver, and they were ugly. They were green and white, little bitty tractors. They went out of business. I think White bought them out. The White tractor is kind of a white or a grayish looking tractor. And then there was the Minneapolis Moline, and that was definitely an ugly tractor. It was yellow. And a terrible driving tractor. Did not like that thing. But they're out of business as well. And then I've also driven Massey Ferguson, and I like Massey Ferguson. I drove a V8 Massey Ferguson. That thing's a beast. So for a row crop tractor, most tractors in road gear will go about 20 to 23 miles per hour when you're driving down the road. This V8 Massey would go 35 miles an hour, and when you're moving equipment down the road with a tractor and an 8-row implement, it's wider than the road, and so you had to be real careful because you got stop signs, you got road signs, mailboxes, and things of that nature. So driving 35 miles an hour and trying to go through the maze of signs and mailboxes and stuff, you had to be careful. I took out a couple of mailboxes by accident. I mean, the thing was too fast, and so the toolbar that I had behind the tractor, just boom, took out a mailbox. So had to go fix the neighbor's mailbox. But that V8 Massey was something else. That was a big old rep. Sorry about that. So I think what we're going to do here, we'll finish up the grass, get the silage going here. I'm not going to save any of this. I'm going to dump it into the silage pit for the so that we can make our silage. I'm going to save 35, I think, for hay and grass for the animals. And then after we get done with this, how long have we been going? Because I definitely want to save some for tonight. Okay, we've been going about an hour. All right, we'll finish this up and level out our silage. And I think we may stop right there because I'm going to save planting the soybeans for tonight, this evening. I hate when they get down on this end. It has to register the trailer so that they can go forward. But I think what we'll do, we'll go ahead and finish this up. It's raining on us right now, so that's great. We're going to get this field good with moisture so that we can plant the soybeans on here. But I think I'm going to save it for tonight, this evening. I'll jump back on probably about let's say 6:30 or 7 Central Standard Time, and plant this and finish it up, and then we'll start looking at what we're going to do for money so that we can purchase another farm so we can plant corn. That's going to be real important because that'll complete our process for our animals, and that's what we're going to be looking for. Because right now I've got, let's see, 45 is in canola, 32 is in wheat, 36 is sunflowers, and 29 is potatoes. So I've got enough of the crops where I can get most of the animals started up and still harvest some to make us a little extra money. So I think once we get this planted in soybeans, 44, and then buy us another field and put our corn on there, I think we're gonna be in good shape. Come on, let's go. Got to get this done. Now, typically, when you're doing this here, you would not be doing it in the rain. It would not flow through the equipment well. But this is a game. It's not 100% realism, but it's really close. That's what I like about this. It's realistic as possible. Alright, so, but that's good we're getting the rain. We're going to have the moisture that we need to get this soybean planted here this evening. We'll be looking pretty good. Alright, so that one's full. And if I remember right, we went ahead and packed, so we should be able to just unload this. And it looks like this right here would probably give us maybe another full load. That's what I'm hoping. So, and I think that's going to take us over maybe 300,000. I didn't pay attention. But anything over 200,000 is going to be great for us getting started with animals. That'll give us plenty of silage so that we can work this farm pretty good. And then we got to look at, I got to get a telehandler. Got to be able to clean up the animals and stuff. So where are we at? Yeah, 281. So yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, we're going to have over 300,000 in silage, so we're good. Maybe even get close to 400,000. So perfect. That's what we need. This is going to set us up good. Alright, and so I may not even pack this because I think I scooted over far enough where I can maneuver the trailer in the far right hand corner there. Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and get this so we can get it out of the way. And then we'll pack it. Then we'll be good to go. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, you don't want to do that on the farm. Electric company don't like that. You got to pay for it. And your truck's tore up, so you have to pay for that too. So, you know, this is the first time I've used the Rothless mesh. I've always went with the Big X, and for the horsepower, and plus I would, you know, hook the trailer up to the back of it, the 55,000 trailer, and I really like this Rothless mesh. It's pretty good. Good little mower. Alright, so we're going to finish this up. Pack the silage. We're good to go. Come on, register my trailer. Here we go. We're good, we're good. Keep coming. Alright. We're good. What happened? Okay. Here we go. We're in business. So we're gonna get another load, looks like. That's good. That's good. That's what we want. Alright. Yeah, we're definitely going to get a load out of this. And then we got to return this Rothless mesh. If you remember, we leased it, so. And we went over an hour, so we got charged again for it. So we're down in our money because of it. That's okay. It's part of it. Takes a lot of time to get this grass cut, so it's all good. All right. Yeah, getting anxious here. I'm ready to get this harvested, get onto something else. I am gonna save this for plant seeding this and soybeans for tonight, for this evening. Keep saying tonight. I don't. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, that lease hit us pretty hard. Brought us down in money. So, what are we about? 4,000 down. That's okay. Got 20,000 out to the bank. It's alright. Alright. I think we're just, just gonna be right there at another truckload. So we're good. We are really, really good, y'all. Just low on money. Not uncommon in farming. Not uncommon at all. It's alright though. We'll make it back. We are in good shape. I don't own a lot of equipment, but what I do got, I own outright. I don't owe any money except the 20,000 I borrowed because we had to do the lease of this mower. I think, honestly, if I get the money, I'm gonna buy this. I really like the Rothless Mash. This is an easy way to do it. You've got the truck, driving alongside it, not a big deal. This is doable. So, alright. Alright. I bet you this farmer does not appreciate me driving across this field. I do have crop destruction on, but I think it only applies to us. My farms. Sorry about that. Allergies. Alright, we're doing good. Ah, look at that. And our canola is up, y'all. It looks good. Looks pretty. Yes, sir. Kind of wondering if our potatoes are up. I have to go check that out. See if our potatoes and wheat is up as well. We'll do that before we jump off. Take a tour of the farm. I need to go around looking at stuff anyway, make sure everything's good to go. After we get this load. So we might have a small strip that's going to be left. I'm not real sure though. Nah, I doubt it. I don't even think we're going to get a full load. Honestly. Nope, probably not. That's okay. We got plenty. We're gonna have over 300,000, so not a problem. Not a problem. Alright. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Alright. Hard to find good help. Alright. Good. And we're getting a good rain right now, so that's awesome. Perfect. I think we'll make this, we'll get to the end and make the one more pass. And, which I think we're going to fill up before we get to the end completely. Or this, gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm looking off to the side. We'll probably fill up before we can make the next pass, which is fine. We'll leave it and just plow it under. There's not enough there for us to worry about. It's going to make a huge difference in our farming on this map, so yeah, we'll probably get to start the pass, but we're not going to finish it up, so that's okay. We're good. It's still doable. Alright, good deal. Stay out of that man's farm. Just give it a little more realism. And I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Quit running over his crop. In real life, yeah, that's a good way to make a farmer mad. Driving across his crop. Alright, let's go. Come on. Alright, good deal. Alright. We're almost there. Almost. Almost. We've done it. Awesome. Alright. So we're done collecting silage, y'all. Let's let go of this worker. Let's return this equipment so we don't pay any more money. Yep. Return that. Return that. Okay. There we go. It's been returned. Alright. So we're done. We'll go over here and get this in the silage pit. We'll level it out a little bit. We'll drop around and check. I saw that our canola's up. That's good. So, alright, I gotta position this off to the right there. Otherwise I'll get stuck. Alright. We're good, good, good. We're doing good. Let me get a little more straighter here. Gotta be able to pull out. Come on. Keep going. There you go. Perfect. Right there. Let's do this. Alright. So, since we get this leveled out, we'll drop around and look at our crops that are up. Saw the canola a while ago. Looks pretty good. Alright, so we're going to be shy of 400,000. This is perfect. This will get us set up for our silage for the animals here in the near future. Alright, let's park this here for right now. We're good to go. Get our tractor out and level this up best we can. Keep jumping out of the tractor. Alright. And I think what we'll do, we'll go ahead and save for this evening. We'll jump back on and plant the soybean. And then buy a farm or another field. so that we can plant the corn, and then that'll complete everything. We should have every crop that's going to be necessary for us to get this farm up and running real good. We'll make a little bit of money. We will buy animals. We will have enough wheat that we're going to have our let's see, what was I thinking? Straw. So we'll be able to get our straw. Field 35 we will harvest, and we'll be able to get our hay and some grass. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't do this. That's not good. Get out. Alright. There we go. We're lucky. If I had some more money, I would buy a silage roller, but right now this is going to work. We're trying to consume our resources the best we can and not spend a bunch of money, because we don't have a lot to spend, because we got to buy a farm. We got to figure that out. I may have to borrow some money I paid off the bank and then borrowed 20,000, so we're about 4,000 in the red. If we paid the bank back right now, yeah, we'd be about 4,000, and that's not bad. And we own everything that sits on the farm right now. We own outright, so we don't have a lot of equipment, but we're good. We're not hurting, so that's good enough for me. But as farming goes, so I mean, until you get real big and good and started here, you know, on the realistic approach that we're doing, it's going to take a little bit of borrowing money to get you started. Oh man, I don't like how high that is right there in the back. Let me, I gotta go across it a little bit sideways here, and at some different angles, get some of this knocked down, because it makes it really difficult to get it out of there. Oh man, that's alright. You know what? That's gonna be good enough. Let's get it smoothed out in our corners, edges here. Get a little bit of the middle. Still see it kind of humped up a little bit. Oh yeah, it's still, even though it shows 100%, you still go across it and you can get a little more leveler. Definitely, I have learned off of this game, makes it a little more easy to manage and get out of the pit, and having these huge humps everywhere. Got a little OCD too. I can't stand it. I like things to look kind of smooth and even. Just me. Some folks don't care. I've watched some YouTubers, man. They'll just make this huge pile. Once it gets to 100%, that's good. They go, and then their blanket kind of looks funny. Those little humps and ridges everywhere. Oh, there we go. Now we got to cross there. Let's see if we can pack some of this down. There we go. Looking a lot better. I like that. So the more you go across it, even though it's at 100% compaction, you can still level it out some more. It's just me. So we'll go check out the farms real quick, or the fields. Sorry, I keep calling it farms. That's what I'm used to in Texas. They call it fields. I guess technically a farm would be the location that we're on. This is, as a whole, is a farm, and then you got individual fields. So, tomato, tomato. It works for me. All right. I don't know what y'all think, but it looks good to me. I think I can live with this. All right, let's blanket this puppy. All right, so what did we say? 375. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I like that. We're looking good. Blanketed. It's a little rough some places. I can live with that when I look at it. All right, so let's just use the tractor. Let's go over here and see if our wheat's up. I know that our sunflowers will not be up because we didn't plant them until the second day of spring. But we did plant the potatoes and the wheat at the same time we planted the canola, so they should be up, or at least close to being up. just want to see. I always like how it first comes up. You got that first growth. It's kind of cool looking. And we are definitely getting the rain. It's been raining for about 30 minutes now. So that's great. I'd like to see that. Have plenty of moisture so we can plant this corn and our soybeans. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's our wheat. Look at that. Looks good. I like that. Alright, so we got our wheat crop up. Looking good. Looking good. Hey, you know what? Let's do this because I like this thing. I don't know if any of y'all use it, but I really like it because you can kind of go back and really test it. I think it's under, is it miscellaneous? Yeah, there we go. We're going to get this. We're going to buy it. It's not a waste of money. So we can sit here and look what we got going. Let's check it out. Alright, so we're 17% growth and we got 20% moisture. Alright, so we're looking pretty good here. Alright, good deal. Good deal. Alright, let's go check on those potatoes. See how we're doing. Yeah, $3,500 for that little measuring tool. I think it's worth it. Especially like where it really becomes important. In the seasons mod, stuff will turn yellow and it looks like it's ready to harvest. And so what this little tool does is I can go back and check it without having to go into the menu and checking it out that way to see if it's ready to harvest. And so this just makes it a little bit easier. And I like it. I think we're just going to hop the fence here. We'll stay parked on the road. Oh, yeah. So potatoes are up. Looking good. Getting plenty of moisture too. Look at that. Let's see where we're at. Should be the same as the wheat. 20% growth. 20% moisture. We're doing good. This is good. Now our sunflowers will not be up. And we got the sunflowers planted on, let's see here, 36, yeah. So 35 is still grass. We're going to keep it that way. 44 we're going to plant. We just harvested all the grass off of that for our salads. We're going to plant that in soybeans. And so here's what I'm thinking. We own 32. Got wheat. I'm thinking 33. We're going to spend the money. It'll be about 60, what, 65,000? I think for 33. So we're going to either borrow the money. We're going to figure it out. We'll figure it out tonight or this evening. 33 we're going to buy. And that's where our corn's going to go. And then soybean on 44. And then that'll kind of complete and make us have a balanced farm. We'll have all the crops that are necessary, that we can get our pigs going and our cattle up, and then sell some of it so we can have some money. Because we definitely got to buy some equipment. We're really short on equipment. I mean, we got a great tractor. This Dutz Bar is really good. But I need to buy, you know, a mower. We leased the Rothless mesh, which that cost us a lot of money. Brought us down pretty good. Eventually, I want to buy the Scorpion King, because if you remember in episode 1, that was how we made some of our money, cutting down trees, and we owned the wood chipper in the truck, so we were able to get some wood chips and make quite a bit of money. And so we'll save that, because if we get a great demand on wood chips, I can lease, I think it's $27,000 to lease the Scorpion King. We will lease the Scorpion King again. On a great demand, we could make, you know, $300,000 or $400,000 doing the great demand. I don't have a sprayer yet, or a pressure washer. I hadn't bought one, and so I'm gonna have to put up a dirty tractor. It is what it is, right? I wish they could fix this. So this is not realistic. No way, unless those are holes, you know. But hey, it's what it is. It's a game. It's cool. We can live with it. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to park this here for now. How long have we been going? Let's see. because I don't want to run it for this evening. I definitely want to do a stream tonight. So we've been going an hour and a half. Um, so I think right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold off, probably in the stream, and stump cutter and our little Zetter. I like that. The Portera. It's a good little tractor for spreading and stuff. Of course, we're on crop destruction, so we definitely need that. But it's a neat little tractor. I like the inside of it. I mean, look at the. I mean, it's really not cartoonish. It's got some good detail to it. It has a neat little sound to it. Listen how quiet that is. But I love the startup on it. You hear the growl in the motor. Sounds more realistic to the diesel engines. So I really like that. Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to probably end here. I appreciate everybody joining. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you want to join us back, subscribe. Come back and see us. I don't know. During the day, last night my stepson wanted to do a stream on Fortnite, and I'm not good. I'm a noob. It just is what it is. I can't shoot. I can't build. I try to. I get hung up. It's horrible. He sticks me in this golf cart yesterday. We go driving and wrecking all over the place. It's pretty funny, but we may do that again. He had a lot of fun with that. He got to laughing pretty hard. I was laughing so hard I had tears in my eyes. Anyway, I got melted, as I thought I would. I'm not good at it. We may do another stream in the middle of the day today, if he wants to do that. But in the meantime, I think we're going to stop right here. We're in a good place. We've got our silage wrapped with a blanket. We're looking good. This field is ready for us to plow when we come back this evening, or actually seed, because we've got a seeder that we don't have to have a cultivator. So we'll go back and seed this in soybean. We'll borrow the money, buy 33, and we'll plant corn this evening and kind of do some other stuff. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Again, I want to thank y'all for joining the channel. Appreciate it. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you want to. Come back and join us. We're just streaming some farm sim, having fun, sharing my experiences. Alright, well, y'all have a great morning. We'll see you this evening. Maybe in the middle of the day, a little Fortnite. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.